Hi guys. So we'll do this as quickly as possible. Okay, I take classes, okay, online class, and I have my PDF, the textbook I work with, and a blackboard where I explain concepts that requires a whole lot of space. Now, while recording on OBS, I wanted that the only thing my student sees are just those two windows, the one with the textbook and the one with the board. So any other thing I do on my system or any other place I go to, they don't have access to it. And whenever I switch, so whenever I'm working on the board, OBS records what I'm doing on board, and where I'm working on the textbook, OBS records. So here's the board, okay, and here's the textbook, okay. So whenever I'm working on the textbook, I want the textbook to be recorded. And when I switch to the board, I want OBS to record the board. Now, we can achieve this by going to our browser. We're going to search for Advanced Scene Switcher OBS. And the very first link that comes up, we click on it, we open it, and it brings us here, the OBS website. Now, to the right hand side of the website, we click on go to download. It takes us to a GitHub repository. Okay, we scroll to the bottom depending on your operating system. It could be Windows, Linux, um, Mac, Mac OS. So whichever one, but I'm using Windows, so I installed the installer, downloaded it and installed it, and then I opened OBS Studio. So let's go to our OBS. So here we are. Now, when you look at scenes, it's needed. Maybe before now you've not been using scenes, but like me as well, I haven't really paid much attention to it. So now we'll need to create two different scenes because I'm focusing on two different windows, or let's say two different applications. So if my focus is on three different applications, then I will need to create three different scenes. But for now, my focus is on two different applications. So I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to call this Blackboard. All right. If you want to rename it, if you don't want to rename it, that's fine. So I'm going to call it Blackboard. Okay. And I'm going to create a source for Blackboard, a capture source, and it's going to be a window capture, and I'm going to call it, let's say BB, meaning Blackboard. If you if you don't want to rename it, that's fine as well. Okay. So once you create a new capture source, you select the window you want. In my case, it's the Blackboard. I've done that. So I'm going to create, let's come back to OBS. I'm going to create another scene, and I'm going to call it textbook. Okay. And I'm going to create a new capture source, which is a window capture, and I'm going to call it, let's just say TT. So I'm going to select my textbook. Okay. All right. So once you've done these things, we'll now come to tools. That's on the menu bar. We'll see advanced scene switcher. Now, if you've not installed the scene switcher from the GitHub repository, you won't see this. Now, you need to install it before you can see this. Now, we're going to open our advanced scene switcher. As you can see, it's inactive, it's not running. You can click on start, but let us set up our macro first before we do any other thing. Now we'll be creating two macros, one for the blackboard, the other for the textbook. Okay, so what would the macros do? Whenever I switch to my blackboard, it will tell OBS record from this blackboard. Whenever I switch to my textbook, it tells OBS record from this textbook. So it becomes automatic instead of me coming into OBS to change it or trying to create a shortcut key that I may end up forgetting to trigger whenever I switch. So in order to avoid that, we have to automate this process. Okay, so we'll click this green glowing button, this plus sign, and let's create the first macro. Let's call it textbook, because this one will handle switching to textbook whenever we are on the textbook window. So first up, let's check this and uncheck this one. We are going to click on the plus sign for the first cell. Okay, you have if and if not, so we'll just stick with if. Now we are saying if scene, and when you click on the drop down menu, we have a whole lot: if audio, if clipboard, if cursor, if date, a whole lot of functions to play around with. But right now we'll be sticking with if window. All right, now let's expand this a bit. Okay, now as you can see, we are having, when we clicked on if window, we have other options: window title matches, window is full screen, window is focused, and the rest. Now we'll leave the two that were checked, we'll leave them that way: window title matches and window is focused. We're going to leave them that way. Now on this bar, right, we'll click on this enable regular expressions. Okay, click on the settings, click on allow partial match and match case insensitive. Okay, once we do that, um, my window that I want to switch to, I saved it as textbook. Okay, it all depends on what you want. If you wanted to view, let's say, Microsoft Edge, for instance, all right. Now, as you can see here for Microsoft Edge, this title is based on the tab that it's currently on. Now, see the title of my blackboard, see the title of my textbook, see the title of my PDF and my PowerPoint. So this is the title we are referring to by window title. So textbook. Now, if while typing your title comes up, well, just go ahead and click it. All right. I think I'll remove this asterisk here. The asterisk is there because I I have not saved it. So once I save it, the asterisk disappears. It doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, now that we've done that, let me save this one as well. Now that we've done that, we come down here, click on this plus button. It's toggled switch scene, switch via program, switch scene to, we're going to switch to what? Textbook, the scene we created here. Do not forget, we're switching to textbook. And we'll be using, it's asking about transition. Do you want to fade into that scene or do you just want to cut it? Now, because have, I switch quickly between both applications, I don't really have time for animated transitions. So I'll just go with cut. Okay. I'll just go with cut. Now, this wait until transition to target scene is complete. You're going to uncheck it. And I believe we are done with that. Now we're going to create the second macro, which is for our blackboard. All right, let's name it blackboard. The same process. Check this, uncheck this, click on the plus button. If remember window, if window, leave it the way it is. Activate the regular expression, allow partial match, and match case insensitive. Okay, and let's type in Blackboard. It shows up. We select it. Now we'll come down here, click on the plus, switch scene by program. What scene are we switching to? Blackboard. Using the code transaction, I will check this. Now our two macros have been generated successfully. Now we are going to start running it. It says automatically start the scene switcher when I start recording or streaming. Actually, I'm recording at the moment, but it should work just fine. Okay, now we are done with that. However, we just need those two scenes active. Now, this one is what I'm recording on generally. So if I go to a different app, you'd see even while I am switching, you're probably seeing definitely seeing all these things. Okay, and we don't want that. That's the reason of that's the reason why we are setting up those scenes so that the focus is just on this textbook and this blackboard. Even when I am switching this way, you won't have to see it. All right, so we'll need to delete. We'll need to delete scene one. Okay, right click, remove. Right. So now we are on our textbook. Okay. So I've been switching. Okay. Currently as I'm talking to you, I'm on my browser and I'm certain you are not seeing the browser. All right. So here's a textbook. Okay, which is active. Let's move to the blackboard. Okay, active as well. Go back to the textbook. All right. Go back to the blackboard. Okay, so that's how you automatically switch between two, three, multiple windows, as many as you would like, all right, without the distraction of other windows. Okay, thank you very much for listening.